Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be looking into the question, what do the next 3 months have in store for you romantically? There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Rose Quartz. Group 2 is the Amethyst. And Group 3 is the Clear Quartz. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Rose Quartz. So let's see, what do the next 3 months have in store for you romantically? Okay, we have Divine Matrix, In Perfect Harmony, Relax, Peace, Permission, and Embodiment. So quite literally, if you are single, you may have somebody that approaches you and asks you out, strikes up conversation, kind of like, can I have your phone number? Can I contact you later? Can I meet you somewhere? It may even be if you are currently talking to somebody, dating somebody, or you've started to see somebody, that there could be kind of a progression in that capacity of this person making their intentions more clear towards you, or expressing some sort of interest, words that they say, or just a way in which the conversation kind of develops that indicates that it's more than just wanting to sort of touch on things at a surface level, but there could almost be sort of the blossoming of feelings, something that's provided that kind of puts your mind and heart at ease, that you've made the right decision to let somebody in, or something where if you've been single for a while, or just haven't really found anyone that you've connected with or resonated with, this can indicate kind of the emergence of somebody that restores hope, that brings you a sense that there is movement in terms of your love life or the emotional sector of your reality, or again, kind of somebody that you might be dealing with currently. Something that they say, something that they kind of share with you about themselves, the way in which those interactions sort of take on a different tone or measure, maybe the duration or frequency in which you're interacting with them accelerates or broadens in some capacity, that helps to kind of allay any fears as far as, is this a mutual attraction? Is this something where we're both kind of geared towards the same possibility of the future with one another? It feels that there's a lot, if it's a new person or even somebody that you're currently dealing with, the idea of in perfect harmony speaks about a lot of cohesion and balance between the two of you. So this can even talk about like shared experiences, ways in which you're getting to know one another on a deeper level, maybe even related to your backstory or romantic history, kind of likes and dislikes, what you're looking for in a relationship, what you're able to kind of give to a relationship at this point in time, or more broadly in the future, what that looks like. There's a lot of cohesion in that capacity. If it's somebody new approaching, they may really check off a lot of the boxes as far as what you're looking for in terms of physical characteristics, the vibe and the energy that they give off. Something where this may be almost, you could have dealt with people in the past that came in really intense, kind of gave the sense of butterflies, or the heart racing and things like that. This almost feels to be somebody that comes in and there's a calm, there's a placidness to this, that it feels like provides you some sort of reassurance, or if it's someone you're dealing with, you kind of move to that place in your interactions with one another where there's a sense of there aren't the indicators. There's kind of the green light to progress forward beyond some sort of fear that this could just be a repeat of previous scenarios that you've experienced, or any kind of hesitation or trepidation, like, is this just going to be another karmic cycle, another karmic person kind of coming in, wasting my time, or, triggering and kind of revealing wounds within that need to be worked on. This is almost a sense of crossing some sort of threshold where it feels different. The presentation is different. The interaction between you and like a current person, or you and a new person, it within that sort of 3-month period, or even kind of like right away, if this person sort of shows up towards the end of that sort of time frame, this can almost be something that you feel different inside. You feel a sense of ease rather than kind of like leaping towards this. This almost feels to be something that indicates a different kind of reaction within yourself to the direct experience of exchanging with somebody who lets it be known that there's like an interest, there's an attraction, that there's sort of romantic inclination. This idea of divine matrix can also speak of kind of like synchronicities or serendipity, right place, right time, or even sort of like secret admirer, somebody who's been like watching from afar, maybe for a period of time, kind of makes that entrance, takes that step towards you in a way that feels very well timed for whatever you have going on in your life. It seems to just sort of fit in nicely, or the manner in which they approach you or present themselves to you. Again, it doesn't really give any red flags or any indicators that you need to be on guard, that you need to be cautious. There's nothing, it feels like, reflexively that just sort of tenses up, or kind of gets into a readied position to sort of vet the person out to the extreme. It's almost something that without meaning to, and that can indicate kind of a deeper potential between you and an individual, either that you're currently dealing with or a new person that approaches, that there's more possibility for longevity in the situation than there has been with other people in the past. It might have just sort of led you down a road of wounding, and then you're left to kind of heal and pick up the pieces. This feels to be something that takes on a very different tone. It presents or approaches or kind of crosses a threshold where there's an ease to that. There's a relaxation. It feels very natural. It feels very organic. It feels very different, and yet at the same time very comforting, as compared to what you've experienced in your last romantic cycle, or maybe in general, if you've been working to kind of understand your patterns and sort of break through those in some sort of manner. It feels like whatever sort of happens in relation to like current person you're dealing with, or new person that may sort of present themselves, they are that reflection of having broken through a cycle, crossing some sort of threshold or boundary within that kind of karmic embroiling situation that may have repeated in kind of multiple circumstances in your romantic life. It's almost kind of confirmation, it feels like, that you've successfully completed some sort of crossing over into a new layer within yourself. You're radiating at a different energy, and you're therefore attracting in different. The idea of the embodiment is kind of this higher level interaction. So it can be like a higher level soulmate, even like a counterpart energy. If you'd been dealing with karmic people in the past, for some of you, it's possible you can, encounter that person that is kind of the embodiment of that higher and healed version of yourself, as opposed to what you might have been dealing with before that kind of resonated with woundedness, a sense of brokenness, or even a fractured idea of the nature of the love you have inside, and kind of a sense of worthiness or lack of that might have really caused you to sort of gravitate toward or welcome in, or call into your reality in the past people that were sort of reflections of that wounded self. So whatever you've done to kind of heal, grow and evolve, and sort of focus on yourself, and loving yourself back to a place of understanding your innate wholeness no matter what you've been through, there's a sense of kind of like the door then opens to either a deepening of a connection with someone that truly kind of matches that frequency for you, or kind of the invitation, and somebody like stepping forward that also embodies or matches that kind of higher, more balanced frequency within yourself. So I'm going to get a few message cards. These are kind of like self-love mantras, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, and we have, I trust my inner guidance. My soul knows the way forward. I am safe to explore new love with others. I hear benevolent messages loud and clear. I am my own healer. I am clearly guided by my revered guardian who protects me always. I choose to transform my life, resolving past issues with strength, courage, and willpower. And I release old burdens and expectations of love. I am free to choose with confidence. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got T, W, D, L, S, Y, E, M, D, F, R, P, E, N, O, and G. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. Chose the amethyst. So let's see, what do the next 3 months have in store for you as far as the energies of romance are concerned? Okay, we have smoke and mirrors, willing release, imagine, spontaneous, truth, and uncertainty. So there's an energy here of somebody that you may have been dealing with up to this point in time that has been harboring deep feelings for you, that could be on the brink or the precipice of like confessing those feelings, making those feelings known, kind of like moving beyond sort of the energy of smoke and mirrors, that they just want to be friends, or they're just a work colleague, or you know, somebody that sort of is in a social circle perhaps, getting ready to kind of take a bold step towards you, and kind of very abruptly sort of have a heart-to-heart discussion or spill a lot of truth about the nature of their feelings for you, maybe feelings they've harbored for quite some time. It almost feels to be something that perhaps the manner or method in which they approach you in this capacity, it may seem a little bit chaotic. It may even be something where there could be a bit of awkwardness with this person, sort of leading up to this grand declaration that might make you sort of question their motives, what they have going on. If they're just kind of playing mind games with you, it may be something that triggers almost like a flight response within, sort of like red flags that you could almost be sort of picking up on subtly, that really are an indicator. It feels like not that this is necessarily the wrong person to open up to emotionally on your end if you're attracted to them and there's kind of mutual chemistry, but it almost might be something that the level of nervousness or pressure, this could be somebody that's like an overthinker or a perfectionist, they're trying to get all the details right, and it feels to be something that the buildup of that, or some sort of residue of you know, just a lot that is kind of riding on this declaration. This is almost somebody that may have put you on kind of a pedestal for a while, or they've been admiring you for a while, they've had feelings for a while, it's taken them a while to kind of get to this point of confession. And so with that is kind of a tangle that comes along with it of everything that's been pent up. It may be something where they come on really strong. It might even be, if this is like somebody that you're just friends with, they could even be talking about that they're in love with you, that you're the one, they see the future with you, you're their soulmate, and it may be something that's just very unexpected, something that catches you off guard and almost sort of causes you to not necessarily reciprocate, or feel kind of inclined to reciprocate in the same manner of intensity with which they're kind of delivering their message forward to you. It feels to be something that it's almost, there's like a wobbly exchange in terms of sort of like how they're presenting things, what your initial reaction might be, and then there might almost be a need to kind of like smooth that out, talk about things a little more. It might catch you so off guard that you question them, like, did you say what I think you just said? Did I hear that correctly? Something that might kind of, again, sort of make you stumble, even if it's like a mutual crush situation. It feels like what it is that they tell you, what it is that they reveal. It might even be something that is far beyond what you were expecting, kind of a first declaration or a first conversation would be. It's almost a lot of intensity all at once. It might also be something where they kind of like info dump or overshare, and they themselves then kind of become very self-conscious and sort of retreat back after this grand declaration. Even if you would tell them like, I have feelings for you as well, it feels that they say everything that has been held within for quite some time. And so it's sort of the energy of whatever's presented. There's a bit of awkwardness, but it's not necessarily if this, and it'll be different for everyone, but like if this person, if they present and there's some kind of like mutual chemistry and attraction, it's something that it's salvageable. You might almost need to sort of encourage them to kind of like slow down or back up a few steps and kind of take things one step at a time, especially if they're leaping straight into that energy of, that they're like in love with you, or they see you as the person, as the one, and this has just been like a friend, or it's just been sort of like a casual acquaintance. And that it's not giving like somebody who's totally obsessed kind of vibes. It's just somebody who maybe doesn't have any other kind of way to describe the nature of what they're feeling within, which is attraction, stirrings of romance, deep connection with like you as an individual, or a sense of a lot of, convergence between the two of you energetically, or in terms of like shared interests and whatnot, that they almost just, they don't know any other word to use other than love. And it feels to be something that there is kind of a workaround with that, where, if you would be sort of interested in this individual, to have an opportunity to sort of take the lead in that situation and reroute them to a place of, let's first start with like going out on a date. Let's first start with sort of sitting in that essence of, there's romance here, there's like a mutual chemistry. Let's get to know each other from that lens, rather than kind of like jumping 10 steps ahead to sort of full-blown love. So it's possible though as well, kind of, that this might be somebody who approaches and you're not really certain, either because of like the vibes that they're giving off, or it might even be something where if it's not like a mutual crush, this might be somebody you've never considered in that capacity. So it takes it maybe catches you off guard, or it'll take you a moment to sort of sit back and evaluate, like, is this something that I want to pursue? Even if they're not coming forth with like, all these words of that they're in love with you, and you've never even kind of exchanged, any sort of like flirtatious or romantic exchanges with one another, even if it's just sort of like a confession of feelings, like, I like you, I'm really attracted to you, I see you as more than a friend, or I want to get to know you in kind of like a personal capacity, if it's like a coworker, for example. There's almost the sense of it may come very spontaneously. It may come at a time where even you have a lot going on. You might be sort of preoccupied or you know, indisposed to sort of other things, and the timing is just off, or maybe there's, you know, just other kind of stressors or factors of the way in which they presented it. It might be something that isn't necessarily in like a romantic capacity, or like a very sort of intimate setting. It might almost be something where they just sort of blurt it out, and you even feel very self-conscious. You know, you almost feel like this isn't necessarily the best place that somebody could have made a confession like that, and yet here it is. So there's almost the essence of like there's potential within this, but it might be something, and it, you know, to this person's credit, it feels like it's whoever this is, they've been like thinking or feeling about this and sort of feeling these feelings for quite some time. It feels like there's been a buildup, and so it's almost just kind of like pressure that sort of bursts forth in a way that might be sort of sloppy, but there's a lot of kind of integrity with that. There's a sense of like these are honest feelings. This is you know, somebody that kind of, when that pressure sort of releases a bit, this is somebody, it feels like, who is capable of emotional connection in a healthy way with another person. This isn't like a walking red flag, but it's almost somebody that level of nervousness, it carries along with sort of the sweetness or kind of the purity of what they're trying to offer. So kind of like with smoke and mirrors, maybe don't necessarily judge the method of delivery, sort of, you know, take that bird's eye perspective and take a step back and almost from their perspective, see this may have really required a lot of effort or courage or bravery on their part to sort of approach you, to confess that they have feelings, or if it's like even a secret admirer, somebody that you don't, you know, you've not met before, you've not spoken with. This can be that same element where even kind of if they're introducing themselves, they're presenting themselves to you, you know, reaching out virtually or in person, like approaching you, for example. This can be something where there may just be an energy attached to that feels not necessarily off, but it's just almost like there's a nervousness that comes along with that, to where you might just reflexively kind of want to take a step back or be sort of skeptical. Who is this person? What are their intentions? Why now? Why this? Like, why the way in which they've chosen to do this? But it feels that underneath all of that, if you're able, if you're willing, if you're open to sort of overlook kind of that element of nervousness that comes in tow with the fact that they are attracted to you, they have some kind of spark, some sort of feeling within that they want to explore. If you're finding that kind of matches or meets sort of what you're open to, or you know, what, after kind of taking maybe a moment to pause and sort of think about it, is something that you'd be willing to explore, then it feels like there's a lot of potential here for something that might almost be kind of don't judge a book by its cover sort of energy, that it could be almost like a better or deeper emotional connection than you might have imagined. You may have more in common with this person than you had imagined, or something that when you kind of get beyond that turbulence, there's the ability to experience things emotionally or romantically that you may not have experienced yet, or there's more to this person than just kind of that initial sort of push that brings them out of their comfort zone, out of the boundary, out of just being kind of the admirer from afar, and confessing the nature of what has stirred within their heart for you. So I'm going to get some mantra cards. These are like self-love affirmations, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, and we have, I choose my own way forward. I am a guiding light of unconditional love. I let go of control and surrender my expectations of love to beautiful synchronicity. I release old burdens and expectations of love. I am free to choose with confidence. I acknowledge and accept emotions as they arise within me without prejudice or judgment. I nurture the child within me. I am complete, whole, and secure. And I acknowledge and express my emotions with ease and grace. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. have I, V, I, B, U, S, V, A, S, C, D, Q, Z, F, W, and O. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. Chose the clear quartz. So let's see, what do the next 3 months have in store for you romantically? Okay, we have a deep breath, a tall tale, positivity, compassion, keeper of waves, and keeper of the harvest. So there's almost a sense here of perhaps it's somebody circling back around to you that you'd been dealing with in the past, that had gone through some sort of process of like profound evolution to where they're almost like a different version of the person that you were dealing with before, and they may have a lot of explaining to do with a tall tale, sort of what's taken you so long to arrive at my doorstep, or you know, why did you reject me the first time around, or you know, sabotage the connection. Whatever it is that kind of happened in the past, it feels like somebody could present themselves as almost having seen the light, or ready to finally sort of admit to feelings, do what it takes to sort of make amends, or create repairs in the situation with you, to where it almost might be something that whatever it is that they say or present, it may either provide you with some degree of vindication and kind of closure with this individual if you've already kind of taken steps to move on, or you've already sort of mourned the situation or resigned yourself to that chapter of my experience is over, or I've kind of like grown beyond that. I'm looking for something else, or like someone that chooses me the first time around, things of that nature. That this might almost be kind of an opportunity to sort of untether yourself from outdated narratives in order to really move in the direction of something that is a deeper and more fulfilling connection for you, that could almost be somebody who's like waiting in the wings, maybe watching from afar, secret admirer, or almost like energetically speaking. Closure with someone from the past, you know, can open those doors or give that signal to kind of a different love, a new lover, a new experience of romance to kind of have permission to enter your sphere of reality, like positive change, something that doesn't leave you hanging, doesn't leave you picking up the pieces and kind of mending a broken heart, but something that adds kind of to the measure of your existence, somebody that brings a lot of like soul food into the experience of, your romantic life, or what you're needing on kind of a spiritual level as far as love is concerned. That this can again kind of tie into sort of ghost of the past, presents itself in your reality. I'm ready, I'm able to love you now at this point in time. And it might be something where it's almost like too little too late for that individual, which sort of like frees you to be able to move forth. It frees them to be able to kind of go find something that is more of sort of a fit, or resonates with them. It might also be something where a lot of this can be sort of a nudge or an encouragement, maybe even something within you that kind of releases a holding pattern where you've been waiting for someone from the past to return, and they've just not. It's timed out. It's no longer sustainable to kind of hold space for someone that either isn't changing, isn't choosing you, isn't kind of recognizing your value or worth, or didn't in the past. That this might kind of signal, romantically speaking, this is sort of the final phase of sort of wishing all of that goodbye, so that you then have the ability to sort of look completely towards the future and welcome in like a positive energy, something that, is kind of a softer version of love, something that's not so challenging, doesn't bring so much of like a sense of internal conflict, or feeling inadequate, or that you're not good enough, or where you again were like maybe holding space for someone, or just having a lot of drama and back and forth. It's almost like closing out one cycle or season or an experience with a person very directly in that capacity, or indirectly, which ushers in kind of like a new energy. There may also be something though that for some of you, whatever, if this is like a past person returning, whatever it is that they present, it's sort of like the recipe's now right between the two of you. You've had your chance to really grow and evolve and change. Whatever they may present with on the surface level in terms of those measurable changes that they've made in their life, it may very much align with your kind of growth paradigm, whatever it is that you've been working toward in terms of healing. Creating abundance kind of from within, and then emanating that out into your world, into your reality. It might be something where almost a circumstance of the recipe wasn't right between the two of you before, and it's taken like a long and winding path in order to be able to find your way to yourselves and then back to one another. That can definitely signal, again, somebody that might not have been ready in the past, might have had a lot of wounding in the past, could be ready at this point in time over the next 3 months, and kind of takes that step towards you, in a way that you might almost need to have compassion for them, the things that they've been through, the realizations and revelations that have happened inside of them, from walking away from you, or just whatever they've been through in their life that might have humbled or even empowered them. It may be again a very almost like a fresh energy, like they present as a different person altogether because they have been so fundamentally transformed within themselves. It's also possible here, as kind of another sort of aspect of this potential narrative over the next 3 months, that this may be somebody who has kind of been working up the courage, kind of scripting, rehearsing how it is that they want to approach you. So like a fresh energy, a new energy, again, kind of all those indicators of however this sort of situation relates. Maybe you're in the process of releasing someone from the past, someone from the past returns, and this time you're kind of shutting the door to that, or you're not accepting that invitation, or you just create that closure, whether it's directly or indirectly. This might also coincide with somebody who already has their eye on you, already is sort of interested in kind of taking that step forward, and it's almost like as one thing sort of closes out, or you release that, something else comes in. It feels like very seamlessly, like there's not much kind of time in between, sort of maybe even an internal shift within yourself. You're sort of shutting the door to the idea of a previous person, or a type that you had gravitated toward in the past, but it feels more specifically like someone you've been dealing with for a while, back and forth for a while, or waiting on their return for a while, and it's kind of just like enough is enough, and it sort of brings in something different. It gives the signal for somebody else to kind of make their move towards you, somebody that with the idea of like keeper of the harvest, keeper of waves. This is a fresh energy. This is a different kind of momentum. It takes you in different direction romantically than you've been towards before, or that you were in sort of the last cycle, or again, like dealing with a very specific person in the past, that there may have just been a lot of hurt associated with that, or a lot of back and forth associated with that. This is almost like somebody who is confident, somebody who is ready, somebody who sees your value and worth, and does not hesitate to sort of do what they need to do to kind of acknowledge that, claim you, acknowledge their feelings, and sort of present that in order to be able to build in like a mutually satisfying direction. So I'm going to get some mantra cards. This is kind of like a self-love affirmation deck, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, and we have, my heart is open to freely expressing love. I let go of control and surrender my expectations of love to beautiful synchronicity. The power of the universe shines within me. I embrace the love and power of my cherished self. I honor my divinity. I trust my inner guidance. My soul knows the way forward. And I sing the beautiful song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got S, I, L, Z, D, H, E, M, F, P, V, Q, G, Y, R, N, and S. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.